Thank you, Brian, and thank everybody for coming today. Good afternoon, and I just have, as Brian said a minute ago, I just have a short statement to read on behalf of the athletic department, and then we'll open it up for questions that you may have. This is certainly an historic day for SUNY Plattsburgh and Cardinal Athletics. I am pleased to announce that we will be adding women's lacrosse as our 18th sport in the Cardinal lineup. Our hope is to begin a national search this spring for a head coach who will begin working with us immediately throughout the next academic year to begin recruiting and building a program. We anticipate being prepared to begin collegiate play the following year and will be participating as a full member of the SUNYAC Athletic Conference in women's lacrosse beginning in 2018-19. I am beyond thrilled to be making this announcement today. The addition of women's lacrosse has been a point of discussion for many years on the Plattsburgh campus and was certainly high on my list of priorities when I accepted the position as Director of Athletics here last summer. The program complements all of our existing programs extremely well and positions us well as we look to expand our recruiting footprint throughout the entire Northeast. The sport of lacrosse is quickly becoming one of the fastest growing sports on the high school level, and I am hopeful that this program, similar to all of our other Cardinal athletic programs, will play a key leadership role in the continued growth of the game at the youth and high school level in the Plattsburgh region. It also provides a tremendous opportunity for young women who are looking seriously at SUNY Plattsburgh and are passionate about continuing the sport that they love. This announcement comes on the heels of the celebration Sunday honoring our women's hockey team's 4th straight NCAA championship. It also comes during a year in which we have seen tremendous success with our men's hockey team winning its 21st SUNYAC championship, All-Americans in track and field, as well as both of our hockey programs, and multiple all-conference selections across the board in all our fall and winter programs. Our spring teams are also hitting stride with the weather heating up, and we have a couple of our teams in position to compete for conference titles over the next few weeks. It is an exciting time for all of us, and we look forward to the days ahead for Cardinal Athletics. With that said, I'll entertain any questions people may have.
Mike, kind of just can you talk us just a little bit through how the process came to be and how this sport in particular came?
Sure. As I mentioned before I arrived at Plattsburgh, my understanding is that women's lacrosse is a sport that's been considered for a number of years. I imagine in large part because we have a great turf field complex, and we've had good success with our men's program, both on the field and in recruiting a number of athletes for the program. For various reasons, I think some tied to facility, locker rooms, support, making sure we had a good infrastructure for the program. It took some time, but this year, as I got here, I mentioned that possibility to the president and to a few others before my arrival. They were all very supportive of it. The conversations increased throughout the year since I've been here, and we were able to work through a lot of the support issues that were some concerns in the past.
I don't know if you mentioned, maybe I did miss, but will they be participating in like a SUNYAC conference? Or?
We will be participating as a member of the SUNYAC conference beginning in 18-19. Yeah.
Can you describe some of the challenges that came setting this up? I know it's got a lot of hurdles, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, there's always challenges with creating a new sport. Fortunately, as I just mentioned to Ken a moment ago, the fact that we have a great facility to play certainly helped overcome many of the hurdles that I think probably exist with a lot of programs starting up. We've already got a field, so the infrastructure was set, which stepped over one hurdle pretty easily for us. Most of the rest was just making sure that we had support on campus, that we were comfortable that we were going to be able to recruit and field a team in a short period of time. And we feel very strongly that we'll be able to do that. As I said, enrollment at Plattsburgh, at SUNY Plattsburgh, just like it is across the country at many collegiate institutions, is a priority right now, and we think that this works very favorably into our overall enrollment scheme very well. So we're real excited about that.
In terms of incoming players, recruitment? I know you said you're searching for a coach. Has any of that started yet?
No, well, yes and no. It's funny, I was just talking with the women's hockey team a few minutes ago about another issue, and I said, how many in the room play lacrosse when you were in high school? And about 10 hands went up. We do have, I think there's a nucleus of young ladies here on campus that have expressed interest over the last couple of years in lacrosse. They played college or lacrosse at the high school level coming up, and they have some interest. So I think there's, we will have kind of a feeder system of sorts already in place for the new coach when they arrive, to build upon. But our anticipation is to start over the next month or two the search process for a new coach and have somebody in place over the summertime. So that process hasn't started yet.
Have you had to hire a coach yet? I don't think you've had to hire a coach since.
This will be my first hire, yes, is for a coaching position. So we're excited about that. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this will mean there are 2 more women's programs than men's. Does that mean there are plans to add a men's program in the future?
At the present time, you're correct. That will give us 2 more men's programs. In terms of our overall number of participants in the athletic program, despite the fact that we've traditionally had a few more female students on campus overall than male students, our male sports teams the number of our male sport athletes has been slightly higher than females. So this will help us get closer to balancing those numbers out. Some of our men's teams hold higher roster spots. At this point, there are no plans in the immediate future to add more programming. But certainly, as one of my goals is to see some long-term facility improvements, both to this building and to Memorial Hall. And as we inch closer to some of those things, I hope that will open up some other doors for us to do that, because I think athletics can play a key role in the overall recruiting process.
I know you can't really honestly talk much about lacrosse here because somewhat new to Plattsburgh State and you know women's program, but maybe having been at St. Lawrence, you know a lot about how the sport is still growing in the area.
Absolutely. I have 2 sons myself who both played lacrosse coming up. It was tough growing up in Canton because Canton had kind of a hotbed of lacrosse at the high school level, and St. Lawrence being a pretty strong program collegiately as well. It's hard to have boys and have them not interested in the sport of lacrosse. But one of the things that I grew to admire watching them come up through the pipes was the fact that the girls' game really picked up at the youth level. So in that particular region, the Section 10 area of the state, the Section 3 area of the state, where we tend to attract a number of female athletes for a lot of our programs. I've seen the numbers swell quite a bit on the girls' level, and a number of high school girls programs starting. So I'm optimistic that those are going to be good recruiting areas for us, and I'm excited to think that possibly this will open up the door for some more youth development, high school development on the girls level in this particular area as well.
Mike, what can make Plattsburgh an intriguing spot for potential recruits to come here and play lacrosse early on, knowing that the program is just starting out?
Well, I think 2 points. I think one, a lot of kids are going to be excited about the fact that they can be part of something new, part of building something, building a program, and they can be some of the founding players of that particular program. That's always an exciting lure for people. Immediate playing time for a lot of them, because obviously our roster will be a little smaller as we first start to develop, so I hope that will excite some people. And last but not least, kind of in line with a lot of the last paragraph that I read in my opening statement, we've had a lot of success here with our athletic programs, and we're continuing to build upon that. One of the key things for me deciding to accept the position I was in was the optimism and the support that was here to see athletics get to the next level with all of our teams. So I would hope that that's exciting as well, to be knowing that you're coming to a school that's committed to athletics and committed to success. So I think all those things tie together nicely.